This is a special program from KETK and FOX51 News. Coronavirus. Hope, not hype.
Hi, folks, and good evening. I'm Neil Barton.
And I'm Casey Koviak. We are dedicating the next hour on KETK and FOX51 to a special program, Coronavirus, Hope, Not Hype, with in-depth reporting, expert insight, and valuable advice from leaders in our community. We'll start with the latest news from today. The number of coronavirus cases continues to rise as more testing becomes available in Texas and across the country. The amount of patients is growing, and our state has seen its first death, a man in his late 90s who lived in Matagorda County along the Texas coast. His death added to the nearly 100 in our country. And tonight, more East Texas cities are declaring local states of disaster, including Lindale and White House. This as Governor Abbott activates the Texas National Guard.
Now, our state has made huge strides to contain the coronavirus. Governor Greg Abbott addressing state operations and military actions in Texas hospitals today. KETK State Capitol reporter, that's Maggie Glenn right now at the Capitol with the latest from his midday news briefing.
The Capitol building here in Austin will be closed to the public starting tomorrow. That announcement followed just hours after the governor activated the Texas National Guard today. Part of Governor Abbott's conversation with hospital CEOs and doctors across the state today included asking for recommendations for alternative facilities if hospitals get full.
For people who test positive, who need to be in isolation, but don't need critical care, we're looking at the possibility of using hotels and motels in various regions across the entire state of Texas.
Other recommendations included opening previously closed hospitals and healthcare facilities and fully equipped tents. But more facilities would mean more staff.
Nurses, we need doctors, we need other healthcare providers who can provide the personnel needed for these entities. And
the governor said the healthcare providers also brought up the need for more personal protective equipment, which other doctors worry about daily.
So this is our biggest concern, and it changes on a daily basis. We are keeping an accurate inventory of all our personal protective equipment every day.
But Governor Abbott downplayed concerns about another key supply.
The information that we received with regard to ventilators, some had numbers larger than what I anticipated.
The Texas National Guard activation is just a precautionary step. Nobody's going to be deployed just yet. National Guard members who are first responders and healthcare workers will be exempt from deployment. In Austin, Maggie Glenn, back to you.
All right, this evening we are taking a look at how local leaders and hospitals are ramping up efforts as more cases of COVID-19 are expected here in East Texas. KETK's My Owens is live outside of Longview Regional Medical Center, where staff members have already set up triage tents.
Casey, for people who may be experiencing symptoms of the coronavirus, instead of going to the emergency room, patients are being directed right here behind me to this tent. Now, as people arrive in their car, a physician is walking up to them to take their temperature and swab the inside of their mouth. Fully dressed in masks, gloves, and protective gear, doctors want to make sure you're not experiencing the flu instead of the coronavirus. As hospitals prepare for an influx of patients, the Longview Regional Medical Center wants to ensure the safety of people inside the hospital while also treating others.
Our goal in establishing the triage center is to minimize people's exposure to other people that are ill and might potentially infect them if they are uninfected, and at the same time assess them for the severity of their illness and necessity for possible hospitalization.
Now, physicians are only seeing people by appointment, and if someone is showing positive signs but seem healthy enough to take care of themselves, they are instructing people to self-quarantine, and in extreme cases, hospitalization. Now, right now, tests for the actual coronavirus is not available here, but doctors are suggesting if you feel like you have symptoms to talk to your primary care physician so they can let you know what your next step should be. Reporting live in Longview, My Owens, KETK News.
And Smith County declaring a state of local disaster on Monday in an effort to try to stay ahead of whatever may be happening in the next couple of months. Details are laid out at the Commissioners Court meeting this morning. Speakers have from the area had concerns about those jailed, also restaurants and bar restrictions. After hearing about the declaration, the big question was, how will Smith County people be affected by the declaration of local disaster, and what exactly does that mean?
Yesterday in doing that, the primary reason in doing that, after having spoken with the city and some other governmental entities, is we really want to make sure that we have made ourselves available to all the federal and state resources that are possible during this declared disaster. And by doing the emergency disaster declaration, we are able to access those opportunities for reimbursement to the county for any expenditures that may be related to the disaster.
And it also opens up relief opportunity for small business in our area and navigate the impact of the virus, also saying it allows emergency management to impose necessary restrictions amid the outbreak.
All right, joining us now is State Senator Brian Hughes and State Representative Cole Hefner. Welcome.
Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you very much for being with us. So first of all, how do you think the president's doing?
Impressive. It's hard for us to imagine having to address something like this. And so early on, not wanting to spook people, not wanting to make people overly concerned, but very quickly responding. Impressive team. Vice President Pence is so perfect for this job, and all the smartest people, most talented people from the public and private sector are coming together. It's impressive.
But on it fast enough, though, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And an aggressive approach from the federal level, but also, what do you think about the state level? Because just as many pressers we're hearing from President Trump, we also have Governor Abbott as well.
Sure, you know, same there. Governor Abbott's been very engaged. He's really in tune to the details. He's made himself very available. We've had several, conference calls with top state level officials and tackling this thing head on. He's done a great job.
But there's always room for improvement. What would you say we could be doing better?
You know, I don't know, just communicating, more communication the better. The more we just communicate to our folks to stay calm, but be smart, be prudent, and stick together.
Same question for you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, that's definitely important, what you're saying about staying calm. What are you hearing from your constituents? Panic, or are they staying calm?
Representative Hefner is right. The most important thing we can do is communicate the important news in a serious way, but that doesn't freak people out. I mean, let's be blunt. Many folks around here saw this early on as maybe politically motivated, maybe it's being hyped up to maybe hurt the president, to hurt a certain party. And so folks were concerned about that. We're satisfied now that this is legitimate, this is real, this is serious. Folks shouldn't panic, but they should take it seriously.
15 seconds apiece before we say goodbye. I've got to cut you loose here for our next guest. What else should be done? Closing remarks.
What else should be done? I think we need to just come together. We need to be praying for guidance and wisdom to work through this. Again, stay calm, but be prudent about the seriousness of the situation.
Amen. Yeah. So the state is limiting regulatory burdens to make life smoother during this time, to keep people safer, giving our public schools what they need, protecting those students, those teachers, those families. And again, we're blessed to live where we live.
Yeah. And if there's one thing you could say to your constituents before we go, what would you say?
We would say, take this seriously, stay calm. We talked to Brookshire's. There's plenty of food. They're hiring people. There's so much food they have to sell to move forward. So we have everything we need if we practice social distancing and stay calm.
And Representative Hefner?
Yes, so we're just, just ask them to stay calm, and it's an honor to serve. It's an honor to be in a position where we can hopefully help communicate what to do, and it's an honor to be working with people like you guys in educating the public.
In it together. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
That's right.
All right, still to come, expert medical advice for your family's health is next.
From the Net Health and Christus Trinity Mother Francis, to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Back in a moment.
KETK Nacogdoches Weather Cam is brought to you by the Fredonia Hotel.
Let's all go to the kitchen. Let's all go to the kitchen. Let's all go to the kitchen and make a healthy choice.
Looking for healthy meals for kids and adults, even on a limited budget? The East Texas Food Bank Nutrition Education Program makes it easy with delicious recipes like banana berry muffins and baked flake chicken. It's a snap! To find recipes and learn more, go to etfbrecipes.org.
And make a healthy choice. Has your AC busted? Computer crashed? Appliance broken? Then you need ARW, American Residential Warranty.
Hi, it's me, Anthony. $3,000 per year, but ARW has home warranty plans starting at less than $1 a day.
My air conditioning broke on a Sunday. It was so hot. I called ARW and they came out and fixed it right away.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more. All plans are fully customizable and come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get a home security system free with any plan. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
Call to find out which home warranty plan is right for you.
Your home. It's a reflection of you, your personality, and ultimately your sense of style. This is why 110 Welding has been the definitive choice by East Texas homeowners for custom ornamental iron gates for over 25 years. Whether it's a gate for your entry, drive, or a unique entrance to your backyard or garden, 110 Welding's iron artisans can help design and create a piece for you that is stunning in detail, functional, and truly a work of art. Visit us online at 110welding.com or call 903-561-8549.
Welcome back, everyone. Coronavirus cases are still growing daily throughout the United States and here in East Texas. Across our country, more than 4,000 patients are fighting the virus, and the death toll is now at 75. The case count in Texas has reached at least 70, and here in East Texas, 8 cases have been confirmed, 5 in Smith County, 1 in Gregg County, 1 in Rusk County, and 1 in Bowie County. The Houston area and North Texas, though, remain the hardest hit regions.
So joining us now is Northeast Texas Public Health District CEO George Roberts and Dr. Scott Smith from Christus TMF. We appreciate you guys being with us.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, George, last time you were here, just last week, we were talking about social distancing. A report card now. How are East Texans doing on that?
I think people are starting to get the message.
Yeah.
I think that there's some more social distancing to be done. It's hard. I think, and we're all in healthcare where we like to greet each other warmly and take. This is kind of the social distancing thing is a little different than what we usually like to do. So, but I think people, when we really talk about that, why is that so important? Because with the coronavirus, it is a respiratory disease. Therefore, it spreads. If I were to cough or sneeze, I think I'm at 6 feet of you, Mr. Barton, right now, but we want to basically try to do that so that those respiratory droplets will not end up on you. And that's how that's how this disease is spread. The other ways is so we encourage people to wash their hands for 20 seconds. We encourage people to stay home if they're sick. We encourage people to stay away from sick people and try to keep your hands off your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth.
That's the hardest part of the whole thing.
But social distancing is one of the primary ways because this disease is one we don't. It's a new disease. Yeah. We don't have a vaccine for it. We don't have antivirals such as Tamiflu. Yeah. So only thing we have in our toolbox right now is the public health measures such as social distancing, hand washing, etc.
Doctor, we keep hearing about flattening the curve. Explain the curve and what's going on with that.
Yes, sir. This particular disease has been so contagious that we know it's spreading very rapidly.
Very contagious.
Yes, sir. Fortunately, the majority of people who get sick are mildly sick, or they have mild to moderate symptoms. However, the persons who are getting more severely ill are about 2 to 3 times higher than regular influenza. So if you take the persons who are getting more severely ill and how fast it's spreading, if we don't lower the speed that it spreads to other patients, then our hospitals and ERs and ICUs become overwhelmed, and we wouldn't have enough to take care of patients, like what's happening in Italy today. And so the social distancing is what we're doing to try to reduce the rapid spread.
Correct.
And social distancing, it's not just about you distancing yourself, because a lot of the younger generations out there say, oh, well, it's for old people, it doesn't affect me. But that's not the case. Can you please explain
why?
So
that is a great question. So the social, why are we concerned about, why are we closing schools? Why are we doing things like that? The information that we have so far is that this really does not impact young people. So somebody like you, Casey, would be, if you were to get this, you probably aren't going to get it. You may have the sniffles or something like that. Here's the issue. It impacts the people who are age 60 and older. It impacts the people who have medically weakened immune systems.
Yeah.
So you could then potentially spread it to somebody who is older, and that's what the problem is that we're trying to keep the spread of this down. So you may not feel bad, but you, as a person that has it and may not know it, you could easily spread it to somebody else. So that's the real issue with this whole disease right now.
Golly, that's scary. Yeah, especially when you think that allergies, a sniffle, but it could be something.
Because the symptoms, it's quite simple. Fever, and the fever could be anywhere from 100 to 102, a cough, and shortness of breath. So how many of those diseases does that sound like to you?
Right, exactly.
Final thoughts, doctor?
Yeah.
During this time, I would encourage everyone to maintain their social distancing and call their doctor if they're sick before going in. Because if you call our clinic, for example, we can direct you to one of our testing sites that we're setting up, that we're trying to keep our healthy and sick clinics separate. So persons who are coming for their regular checks, diabetes or high blood pressure, can still do so without fear of sitting next to someone with fever in the lobby.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you both. Still to come tonight, relief for Texas. What could be on the way for our state as well as the nation?
Yeah, we'll go live to Washington to show you what Congress is doing. Please stay with us.
March Mattress Giveaway at Southside Furniture. We're giving away an American bedding by Corsicana Mattress every week in March. Visit EastTexasMatters.com and register for your chance to win. March Mattress Giveaway only at Southside Furniture, baby.
At C&R Service and Repair, our motto of honesty, integrity, and excellence isn't just a slogan, it's the way we do business. When you call our office, you can expect to experience these values in everything we do. If you've been told by another company that you need to replace your system, let us give you a second opinion at no cost. We're about building relationships, and as one of the top Daikin Comfort Pros in East Texas, we look forward to meeting your air conditioning needs.
You're injured and it wasn't your fault. Now you're stuck with medical bills and not sure what to do. Call Monser Law Firm, 903-999-9999. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll take the problems that come with the accidents and you get the compensation you deserve. Call Monser Law Firm at 903-999-9999. Principal Office, Longview, Texas.
Wash Smart Laundry makes laundry day easy. If you're too busy to do your own laundry, let us do it. Bring your laundry or comforters to Wash Smart before 9:30 a.m. and pick it up clean and folded after 5. It's the Wash Smart way.
A multi-billion-dollar coronavirus relief package is waiting for the Senate's approval. KETK's Washington correspondent Anna Warnicki reports right now that Texas senators both say the Senate should act as soon as possible to move the coronavirus relief bill to the president's desk. Anna.
Yeah, I was on Capitol Hill earlier today, and it was quiet. Many of the offices were closed. The staff is working from home. The only people that are really here are the senators. They canceled their scheduled recess, and they're hoping to pass this second coronavirus aid package as soon as possible.
I've spent the last week and a half in self-quarantine at home.
In his final hours of self-quarantine, Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz tells us he's ready to get back to work.
I've been working from home, actively engaged on the phone and on email and the internet, and tomorrow I'll be flying back to D.C.
Cruz isolated himself after coming into contact with 2 individuals with coronavirus.
The best thing that Congress can do is show up for work and to do our job.
Back in Washington, Texas, other Senator John Cornyn says the healthy members of Congress need to pass the Families First Coronavirus Response Act
to help people who are taking sick leave or being quarantined.
The multi-billion-dollar package would extend unemployment insurance, ensure paid leave for some workers, and provide free testing for people who need it.
Let's move this now.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he's ready to send the bill to the president's desk. But for a while, one Texas congressman stood in the way.
Madam Speaker, would reserve the right to object.
On Monday, Texas Republican Congressman Louis Gohmert delayed progress on the bill until he could review the details.
I had real concerns about some of the wording, some of the problems.
But late Monday, Gohmert ultimately withdrew his objection.
The House of Representatives may have left town, but the Senate is right here at work.
Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate will stay in session until they pass the relief bill.
Changes to the House bill. The House would then have to come back to D.C. and vote on the revised version, which would delay the bill getting to the president's desk even longer. Live in Washington, D.C., I'm Anna Warnicki. Back to you.
All right, Anna, thank you. Joining us now is our U.S. Congressman who represents much of East Texas, Congressman Louis Gohmert.
Congressman, welcome back. And tell us first of all about the national response to COVID-19.
Well, some people are panicking, and some people in Washington are taking full advantage to get more government control over whatever they've been trying to do for years. And we've seen that, and it is really outrageous. People should not panic. That includes people in Washington. But we reached a new low yesterday in Washington. In the wee hours Saturday morning, we were expected to vote on a bill and did that there couldn't have been anybody that read, any members of Congress, I'm sure staff had, because it was filed so close to the time that we voted. Now, I'd taken the 9 p.m. version and I'd gone through before the vote, and then I find out, nope, they just filed a new one. And so anyway, we did what Pelosi talked about with Obama. We were expected to vote on it so we could find out what was in it. But yesterday we hit a new low. I left here in Tyler at 3 a.m. and got to Dallas to take the first flight to Washington because I heard that they were going to come into the House chamber, and they did, and have at least 46 pages of changes they would call technical corrections, which were actually, some of them very substantive, and without anybody on the House floor but the Speaker and one other member asked unanimous consent to make this part of the bill, H.R. 6201. So I got there an hour ahead of time. Things started scurrying. People go, "Are you here to object?" And I said, "You bet. I'm not going to allow you to do a UC of things we haven't even seen yet." Well, that was the new low, because it turns out at 11 a.m. the Democrat majority was ready to pass some very substantive changes that had not been finished at the time they were going to ask unanimous consent to push it through. So 10 hours later, after a lot of negotiation, and the president called, we talked, and McCarthy, and there were a lot of moving parts. Yeah. We got a number of good changes to the bill. There's still some problems, and it's still going to be tough for small business, because big business, 500 employees or above, got a pass. Mm-hmm. But the government's going to be much more intrusive of those less than 500 employees. So it was not good, but I couldn't believe we were going to have an occasion yesterday, if I had not been there, where we were going to pass something so that we could let it be written. Right. It had not even been written. Yeah, not finished.
That is crazy how it works behind the scenes.
Can't panic.
Talking a little bit about what could possibly happen to every American, what do you think about the idea of sending Americans a $1,000 check as a sort of stimulus?
You know, President Bush tried that late in his second term. It didn't do anything to stimulate the economy. And in fact, I asked President Bush on the House floor, you know, how do you give a rebate to people that didn't put any bait in? The president had the right idea, and it was one I came up with as an alternative in 2008 to the TARP, of bailing out the big entities whose greed got us to the brink of ruin. And that is, just let everybody keep all of the taxation that's in their check, at least for a couple of months. And that would be an enormous amount of money. And people try to say, so you're discriminating against people on welfare. No, because people on welfare don't have their checks threatened or withheld when they miss work because they're not working. They're still getting their checks. It's the people that have thousands pulled out of their check that could do with keeping that in. The president had the right idea, but Pelosi talked him into, well, they weren't going to be able to pass that last week or this week in the House. So that's the best idea. Let people keep the money they work for. The people that are on the welfare, unemployment, they're going to get their check for not working, but we need to get it in the hands of those that are working.
Congressman, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Always good to be with you.
Always. Thank you. You know, many of you have seen restaurants and bars start to close or shorten their hours.
We'll take a look at that growing list and what leaders are doing to make that better when we come back.
Attention. If you've had a hernia surgery after 2006 and suffered from serious side effects such as infection, chronic pain, organ damage, mesh shrinkage, or mesh migration, you could be eligible for financial compensation. Call the law offices of Wright & Schulte right now at the number on your screen, or visit meshjustice.com now. Ethicon, a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, has withdrawn its PhysioMesh flexible composite mesh from the market. Again, if you've had complications from your hernia surgery after 2006, you could be eligible for financial compensation. We can find out what type of devices were used in your surgery. Call the law offices of Wright & Schulte immediately at the number on your screen, or visit meshjustice.com now. You deserve justice, and the call is free. And there is no fee unless we win your case. Call now for your free case evaluation. Again, call the law offices of Wright & Schulte immediately at the number on your screen, or visit meshjustice.com now.
Welcome back, everyone. Public health officials continue to push social distancing and the coronavirus pandemic, with President Trump saying people should avoid groups of 10 or more. Restaurants in East Texas have started to do their part. Starbucks, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, and Whataburger locations nationwide are only open for pickup and to-go orders. Lobbies are closed to the public. And those are just some of the restaurants making the big move. Both Brookshire's and Walmart have amended their hours to allow for more time to restock shelves and to clean for customers. And an East Texas favorite, Stanley's Pit Barbecue in Tyler, has closed its seating area to the public and is only serving pickup. Now, joining us now to share their perspective about the impact on local businesses, we have Tom Mullins, CEO of the Tyler Economic Development Council, and we also have Michelle Mills, the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Central East Texas. Neil?
So, folks, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to kind of try to keep my distance here and be polite. So, first of all, what do we do to keep the economy strong and going, Tom?
Well, first of all, we have to protect people, but if these small businesses and a lot of the large businesses are infected, we have to work in a partnership with local, state, and federal government to make sure that we try to help out and fill those gaps that are being created.
When you say protect, like how?
Well, you've got people that are living from paycheck to paycheck. Restaurants live from just one monthly cycle to another monthly cycle. They need some kind of interim support in order to make it through this health crisis.
What kind of support would you recommend?
Well, we've heard a lot of them. We've heard some kind of tax incentives. We've heard low interest loans, emergency loans, refunds to workers to help them pay their bills. That, I think, is the immediate need, particularly for small companies.
What is the city doing right now to try to help?
Well, the city is involved in providing information to companies. We're working with employers.
Where can we get that information?
Well, on the Chamber and the Economic Development websites and the City of Tyler websites.
All right, Michelle, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, first of all, I think we need to stay calm.
Yeah.
And
please stay calm.
Hopefully businesses have a protocol in place for disaster planning, and a lot of businesses do not have that. So if you need those resources, you can come to bbb.org and we can help you kind of prepare for this type of thing. But take care of your employees. If you're a business that is in a good situation, Amazon, for example, is providing $5 million worth of grants for businesses within Seattle, so around their area. So if there are other businesses that are doing, very well, then perhaps they could do something like that, set something aside for some of the businesses who may not do well during this time. We heard about a nonprofit that is asking their volunteers to stay home, but it instead is hiring people who may have been put out of work and they're going to pay them to do some of the distribution and things like that in their nonprofit.
What about part-time workers?
Absolutely. We would recommend that if you can, to provide PTO to your part-time workers as well, so that they don't feel obligated to come to work if they're feeling sick.
Now, we know what the Chamber of Commerce is all about, so the Better Business Bureau, if I had a business, what could you do to help me?
We provide tools to help you become a better business, and that's in all areas, all aspects of your business.
Tom was talking about their website. Where can I go to your website?
You can go to bbb.org.
Or I can call, is it right?
You can call us.
All right.
Yes.
So anyway, anything else before we say goodbye? Loans for small businesses, stimulus, that sort of thing. How do you feel about that?
Well, we're supporting any kind of strategy that'll help us get through this crisis. Low interest loans are available through federal levels. We have local low interest loan programs. We can give advice as to who to contact and how to put those packages together.
How do you feel about the stimulus package that they were talking about?
I'm in support of it. I think it has to happen. We have to get some kind of help out there to bridge this gap.
Okay, Michelle, what about you?
Absolutely agree with that. We need to do what we can to support our local community, our local businesses, and the people that they employ.
Thank you both. Great information. Thank you for being with us. Casey, back to you.
All right, Neil, thank you. Coming up, places of worship closing their doors to stop the spread. Local faith leaders join us with their advice to stay strong in spite of canceled Sunday gatherings. Please stay with us.
Life is just beginning at the Hamptons in Tyler. Our passionate memory care programs are tailored to meet the needs of every individual with engaging and entertaining activities made to inspire hope and healing, not just for our residents, but for their families and loved ones as well. Call to schedule a tour and learn more about how we can improve the quality of life of the ones you love who need it the most. Rethink memory care and live life to the fullest at the Hamptons in Tyler.
It's the huge trade-in, trade-up sale going on now at Don's.
That's right. For a limited time, trade in that old washer, dryer, dishwasher, refrigerator, or mattress set and get up to $300 towards the purchase of a new appliance or mattress set.
Right now, trade in any old worn-out mattress and get up to $300 off on the purchase of any new Serta iComfort set. It's the huge trade-in, trade-up sale. Just one more reason Don's really is your Get More store.
It's March Mattress Giveaway at Southside Furniture. We're giving away an American bedding by Corsicana Mattress every week in March. Visit EastTexasMatters.com and register for your chance to win. March Mattress Giveaway only at Southside Furniture, baby.
Year after year, high school athletes strive for greatness, dreaming that one day they will achieve their goal. Each week, until the month of May, Christus Health Systems Orthopedic and Sports Medicine rewards one worthy recipient for their hard work with the Athlete of the Week. To enter your nomination, visit EastTexasMatters.com.
Simone Manuel! Just when you think you've seen it all, I can't begin to tell you what this means for the sport of swimming in the United States.
We have some breaking news this evening. News from the Diocese of Tyler. Bishop Joseph Strickland just announced all masses have been canceled until further notice. This is just the latest decision by East Texas faith leaders to shut down in order to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Now joining us now, Pastor David Dykes of Green Acres Baptist Church. We also have Pastor Brian Leitner of St. James CME Church of Tyler.
Gentlemen, thank you for being with us. I know we've been practicing our social distancing, everything else before we met this evening, so thank you very much for your valuable time. Let me ask you this. Once again, the church, we know what it is to feed the soul, but also to keep the church open, going. You need plumbing, you need lights, you need this and that and whatever. When people are not showing up in person to worship, do you worry about some of the maybe the tithes and offerings going down?
Well, that's an inevitable effect of this, but we've been teaching our people for generations that the church is not a building. It's people. And with the modern technology that we have to provide online services, this is how churches everywhere are going to be connecting virtually online through live streaming or internet platform.
And not only that, you have live streaming available to you, but there are opportunities, whether it be PayPal and such of other different commodities, to be able to do so from a distance. So as we practice our social distancing, yes, we want to, at least from my perspective, I want to make sure the doors of the church remained open, but we got to make sure we're safe.
Full disclosure here, I am a member of Green Acres Baptist Church. I know there's a heck of a good media department there that can stream. Are you equipped to do the same thing?
I am not equipped to do the same, hence Facebook Live is the,
there you
option that I utilize.
There we go. Yeah, and that works as well. Now, you know, talking on more of a faith-based conversation here, I think it's ironic that we're in the season of Lent right now, and this is happening, and now all of, you know, our churches are closing. How do people keep up with the faith, and how do they stay strong when they don't have that Sunday, I don't know, I was called a pick-me-up every single Sunday, you know? What can the congregation do?
Well, first of all, the congregation, during this season of Lent, there are devotionals we continue to utilize, but I want to push this idea of faith over fear, that we truly are trying to make sure that you keep your faith and you keep your eyes up on that which is most important, of course. As a community, it is very important that we exercise our faith, not just by praying, but we pray with our actions, our deeds. And so therefore, if it is, when you take it to the next level, how can I be a good neighbor? Can I practice loving my neighbor as I love myself, right? And so in this opportunity that we have, we really can push the envelope to what it is to truly be a disciple of Christ.
And you know, one of the side effects of this coronavirus, whether you're physically ill or not, is going to be isolation and loneliness, which is already a problem in our culture. So people need contact, whether it's social contact or physical contact. So there are going to be consequences to that. And so we're going to need to minister to people during this time, connect with them, especially if they're older, isolated, and alone.
How do we do that?
We're encouraging our church every day with a video and a newsletter telling people, call somebody, check on them, find out how they're doing, and gather with people in groups of no more than 10, maintain social distance, hand washing, all the rules, but you do need social contact.
I know the church already has a deal where they go and they help widows with things around the house or whatever, so now kind of step it up some?
Well, for instance, there are 38 international college students at TJC who are stuck on campus with no food, no transportation.
Oh, wow.
So our church has stepped up, and we're going to be feeding them for 2 weeks, delivering the food to them. So that's just one way that we can show our love to the community.
Pastor?
Now,
Well, yes, I mean, in the same vein, here we are, we're thinking about the students who are out of school right now. Now, you have to take that perspective to say, yes, you're out of school, and thank God for TISD, who is able to provide food for those during that period of time. But what if that family is being so marginalized, doesn't have transportation? Well, we're looking and being able to go out and then service those needs by delivering food to those.
That it really is. And do you think this whole coronavirus episode that East Texas is going through and our nation is going through is going to be changing your message to your congregation once it's finally, knock on wood, said and done, when everyone finally comes back to their church home? What do you think that feeling is going to be?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a change. I'm hoping I'm being consistent in the message that I'm putting out. But if I'm thinking of Scripture, I realize that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and sound mind. So in the midst of that we operate in this capacity, doing things right and following the rules, as we're talking about bumps and social distancing.
And we're telling our folks that, you know, this is not going to be forever. It's not the end of the world.
No.
It came to pass, and the time will come when we will gather again. Praise the Lord. You talk about the joy and celebration.
I'll bet it's soon.
You're right.
I'll bet it's soon.
Soon and very soon.
We're having church right here, aren't we?
Amen. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, schools closing across Texas and some even indefinitely.
How both educators and students are coping with changes, what the future holds next. Stay with us.
Keep up with the latest by following KETK on Twitter.
Mary and Shirley both need oxygen. Shirley lost her freedom the day she went on oxygen, but Mary has the ultra-compact Inogen 1 G4 oxygen concentrator from Inogen. It's the smallest and lightest model we've ever made. Shirley is forced to miss out on everyday activities. Mary fully enjoys her life. Shirley has to wait for tank deliveries and worries about running out of oxygen. But Mary's Inogen 1 G4 makes its own oxygen, so she'll always have the oxygen she needs anytime, anywhere. Shirley finally listened to Mary and now has more freedom too. It's time for you to reclaim your freedom and independence with the Inogen 1 G4. Act now to start your 30-day risk-free trial. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait and don't accept substitutions. The sooner you call, the sooner you can say goodbye to heavy oxygen tanks for good and reclaim the freedom and independence you deserve. Call now for your 30-day risk-free trial.
Call 800-737-9345. That's 800-737-9345.
Developing news right now from the University of Texas at Tyler and Texas A&M, both deciding to finish the spring 2020 semester online. Commencement ceremonies have been postponed. These are just the first colleges we know of making this particular move.
Yeah, joining us now, Dr. Juan Mejia, president of Tyler Junior College, and Dr. J. Blair Blackburn, president of East Texas Baptist University. Welcome.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
So what are you schools doing right now to go through this very difficult time that we're going through? What are you doing?
So ETBU, we moved to virtual learning on Monday, this earlier in the week. Last week we were on spring break, but we have technology embedded throughout our curriculum, and so our faculty, our students are accustomed to that, so we had the platform and we moved immediately online.
The good news is, not so much for people my age, but for the younger generation out there, as we used to say back in the 60s and 70s, they're pretty adroit at streaming and online or whatever, so for them, I guess it might be a pretty easy transition, right?
It is, and ensuring that our students have access to technology, and that's why we've left our residence halls open for internet connectivity. And for many of our students, ETBU is the safest and healthiest place for them to be. And for many, they've been there for a couple of years, and so it's their home. They want to be there. So we've maintained our residence halls, but conducting health screening to ensure that our students and our campus community is safe.
All right. Well, you know, with such drastic measures, there are always positives and negatives. With the steps that TJC has taken, how did the positives outweigh the negatives in this, in the direction that you guys went?
Of course, we're looking at following the best practices. We've been in great communication. This has really allowed us to strengthen the leverage the collaboration we have with private institutions, like the collaboration we have with ETBU. All the East Texas higher education institutions are working together, and we're looking at really identifying the best practices that are going to serve our community needs. So in our case, we extended spring break by 1 week. We're bringing full back online this coming Monday, and then looking at modified versions with alternative formats on March the 30th. So that's the format that we're looking at, and the pros of that have been really the leveraging the people coming together for a stronger community college.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you guys pretty much discussing schedules as well, just what in case, what if?
Right. Well, related to the extension, we're looking at what happens next. So we're taking it week by week. We're scheduled to come back on Monday, April the 6th. So we'll just continue to follow the CDC guidelines and follow the Trump administration to determine what we should do next. But we know practicing social distancing is it's key to flattening the curve, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
How often do you meet with the CDC or talk to them?
So we're constantly monitoring the CDC website.
Gotcha.
We're watching all of the news, all of the press conferences from the White House, and we're sharing. As Dr. Mejia said, we share information. Dr. Mejia and I have shared all of our communication to each other's faculty and staff and students so that we know what each other are doing. We're sharing best practices and what we're doing with cleaning and sanitization throughout our facilities. So it's great to have a wonderful partner like Dr. Mejia to work together.
And Dr. Mejia, what would your message to your students right now be in such a strange time for them?
Absolutely. I would ask them to be patient and understanding of this time. We're going to be the same. We're going to exercise patience. We're going to err on the side of caution. We're going to really focus on that student success that we're all talking about, student community success. So I'm saying just hold off. We do have a plan. We have 3 scenarios that we've outlined. We're working with Net Health and George Roberts and really all the organizations.
Yeah.
And it's going to be about, just bear with us. We really have a plan, and it's going to be rolled out later this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, I'm pulling in the crisis management team to flesh that plan out to really solidify it.
Okay, we're all in this together, guys.
Yeah, and you better have a plan, especially when it comes to dealing with your money. Here now some sound about the stock market.
Americans should know that we are going to do everything to make sure that they have access to their money at their banks, to the money in their 401ks, and to the money in stocks. So I want to just be very clear, we intend to keep the markets open.
So once again, a whole lot about the stock market out there. Let's talk to our special guest right now, Jay Oliver. He's been a stockbroker for years. So Jay, what do we do?
Well, the first thing you want to do is take a deep breath. Don't panic.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, that's hard to do right now.
It's very difficult to do with so many things going on in the world around us. Sometimes we have the impulse to just take action. And in many cases, financially, the best thing to do is to take that deep breath. Don't make an emotional decision. Be rational. Take a look at your investments, see how they're being impacted, and really take a long-term view before you make any changes.
Do you have any rules of thumb here when it comes to a percentage or a cutoff point when you're just focusing on how much money you're losing every day to where, okay, I need to take action now?
There's no rule of thumb. It would vary from individual and their situation and their long-term plans. Certainly with someone who has a long-term point of view, maybe the younger individuals could certainly take a longer view. If you're in retirement, I would suggest you don't abandon your plan. There should be a contingency for fluctuations or volatility in the markets. In most cases, I would suggest most people just follow the plan that they have in place. If they're not certain about that, I suggest that they visit with their financial advisor, help them walk through this, what the impact would be, and have a plan going forward about any changes that might need to be made.
Jay, before we cut you loose, any other final words here?
Again, I wouldn't be emotional about the decisions I would make in regard to maybe making changes to your plan, whether you're planning to sell, to avoid losses. But on the other hand, too, I think many are looking for an opportunity to buy, and so you want to be thoughtful about what you're buying and how you go about that as well.
All right, Mr. Oliver, thank you. You know, we have another special guest joining us from Odessa, Dr. Ray Perryman, President and CEO of the Perryman Group.
Thank you for being with us. So what insight can you share where we're going right now?
Well, what we're seeing right now, obviously, is the economic ramifications of this. It's a health crisis. It wasn't started by a bubble in the housing market or a bubble in the dot-com market or any of those things we've seen in the past. It's a health crisis, but it's having fundamental economic implications. We're going to see layoffs in a lot of industries. We're seeing our supply chains interrupted. We're seeing our travel interrupted, our shopping, and any number of things. So for a few months at least, we're going to see some pretty significant economic fallout from this.
So once again, are you pretty much happy with what the president is doing, perhaps maybe some incentives? What do you think about that?
Well, I think that we do need to get a significant package put together and get it done as soon as we can. And it's one of those situations where, you know, a person like myself can sit there and write what we think would be the perfect package, but it wouldn't be politically acceptable. It might take a month or two to get it done. If you can get a package that's an economist might grade as a C+, but you can get it passed this week, that's going to get money in the hands of individuals, that's going to take care of the industries that are really on the brink, that's going to take care of those small businesses in things like restaurants and shopping that really can't survive for months with very little revenue, then we need to get that done and get it out there as soon as we can, because this is going to have significant economic fallout. It's different from the past in the sense that the economy was strong before this happened. It wasn't an economic problem that created it. And once we get through it, you'll probably see the economy come back fairly quickly because all that fundamental structure is still in place. But during this interim period of a few months, there's going to be some significant economic dislocations, and anything we can do to help soften that blow and help people continue with their lives is very important.
Okay, Jay, bringing you back into the conversation here, because you are a stockbroker. This is where the rubber meets the road when people come in. In fact, I met with my stockbroker on Saturday, so you see the long faces or the happy faces. Your comments about that?
Well, I think most people are being calm. I think, fortunately, most people are not panicking. I think the point is well made that this did not start out as a financial crisis. It started out as a health crisis. We were in good, stable condition in the economy and in the markets prior to this. And so I think once we get on the other side of this situation and get a handle on really how widespread the health crisis will be, I think we'll see a recovery in the financial markets.
All right, Jay, anything else?
I would just, again, advise people to take a deep breath and consider the long term, seek advice if they're unsure what they should do, and just keep in mind that this too will pass.
And Mr. Perryman, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, the only thing I would say is, first of all, take care of yourself from a health perspective and be sensible, because that's the most important thing going on here. Beyond that, just take heart in the fact that, yes, this is going to be a difficult time. There's no way we can avoid that with all the disruptions happening, but we will come through it, and it will be something that once we come out of it, unlike the last recovery, which was very slow getting started, I think you'll see this recovery, once it gets started probably later this year, be very rapid once we can get things past the current crisis.
Well, that definitely gives us a little bit of peace of mind. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
All right. In a moment, the important role of local charities and nonprofit groups.
And they definitely have one, how they're helping and how you can too. Stay with us.
Insurance company, I'm claim number 43WE90T8U. Classified as motor vehicle versus tractor trailer truck. Status, claim under investigation. Well, insurance company, my name is Kara. My husband and I were in that motor vehicle. The truck swerved into our lane, broadsided us, and nearly killed him. Nice to meet you.
If you've been seriously injured, you deserve to be protected and treated fairly. But the insurance company doesn't always see it that way. Call Grant and Flannery.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with lung cancer in the past few years? Even if you were a smoker, your lung cancer could be caused by asbestos exposure. You and your family may be entitled to significant compensation. You know our law firm, the Driscoll Firm. We only represent victims. If you have been diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, we can determine if you qualify for compensation. Call us for free. You pay nothing unless we win.
Welcome back, and now joining us live in the studio, two special guests, Kathy Ferguson with the United Way of Smith County and Stephanie Taylor with the Alzheimer's Alliance of Smith County.
Welcome, ladies. We'll start with you, Kathy. Okay, so you are the United Way 211 Community Outreach Manager, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Now, can you tell us how your role has just, upped your game completely since the coronavirus has shown up in East Texas?
Right. Well, we're constantly trying to update all of our resources. A lot of the agencies are changing the way they do business, and so it's our role to keep up with those changes and make sure that the information is put out to our resource specialists who are on the phone answering the phones. And then our call volume has doubled, almost tripled in the last few days.
And what are they asking? What are these callers wanting?
A lot of them they just need information. They don't know what's going on. Yeah. They just want to know, what are the symptoms to look for, how do they stay away from people, and a lot of people are looking for the resources. How do they get the food that they're looking for, or the medical attention,
or toilet paper?
Exactly,
unfortunately.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Alzheimer's, nursing homes, rest homes, special care, whatever. What sort of problems are you guys having?
Well, for us, our clients are the most vulnerable to the coronavirus.
They are.
And so for the Alzheimer's Alliance, we made the decision to stop our day club respite program, anything that really brings those vulnerable populations out into the community. But CDC has released some great guidance for long-term care communities, nursing homes, and the Alliance is still providing services. So we encourage people.
What services are you providing?
So we're providing our counseling and case management over the phone, emergency in-home respite if needed.
So I can call you and get information, right? Someone's
absolutely. Someone is there. We're operating under normal business hours. We can do everything over the phone. We're asking our clients to call us if they need food, if they need any essential items, if they need someone to come in the home and help them provide care in an emergency
If
situation.
my mother was in a nursing home and she had Alzheimer's right now, I cannot go and see her, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
That's hard.
It is hard. It's very hard, but it is for the safety of our most vulnerable population.
Is there any way that I could communicate with somebody? Like write them a note, someone could read it, something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. We encourage phone calls, FaceTime, Skype, notes, letters. I mean, any form of continuous communication is really encouraged during this time.
And that's what's so great about the modern age right now. There are so many facets that you can use to communicate.
It has been really helpful to continue to provide our services.
Yeah, and through you guys continuing to provide your services as well. If East Texans do need more resources or information, how can they contact you? What can they do?
They can call 211, and if they have
just 211.
Call 211, and if they have coronavirus COVID-19 questions, they can hit option 6, and that will connect them with one of our community resource specialists, and we'll answer all the questions we can. And if we can't answer the questions, then we do have a hotline we can send them.
You give them to the people who can then.
Correct.
Okay.
Ladies, thank you.
Stephanie, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be right back.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy.
Is Final Expense the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $30,000.
The Silver Care Life Plan will pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. Your rate will never increase and your benefits can never be decreased. Your coverage can never be canceled. Call now. There is no medical exam. Your approval is guaranteed. Speak with an experienced advisor to see how final expense coverage can help you. Make the call now. There is no obligation.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-631-9326. That's 1-800-631-9326.
I have really looked forward to this segment because pretty much these are my friends or Facebook friends, because these wonderful folks in East Texas are our neighbors. They are not elected to anything. They're not on any sort of council. We're talking about Sue Hoff-Wingfield, Holly Hunter, and also Travis Wright. So first of all, Travis, I'll start with you. You've had a chance to sit back and watch tonight. How do you think pretty much we are handling the coronavirus, including the media?
I'm kind of a glass half full kind of guy, so I'm pretty positive. You know, I mean, this is a big situation. It's my first global viral, pandemic.
Mine too.
Just trying to figure it out. Right. And things are bad, but when things are bad, that gives a great opportunity for us to do a lot of good with each other.
Like
so
how?
I'm pretty optimistic. I feel like, being here in your conference room today with the who's who of East Texas leaders, and they're on top of it. These people are looking for solutions. The communication lines seem to be great. Everybody's getting the information they need. I'm very optimistic about our national leaders, about our global leaders. I feel like more of a global community now than I ever have in my lifetime, and so
you're pleased so far?
I am.
All right, we slide over here. Pardon me, Holly. What about you?
I think everybody's doing a pretty good job. At first, I watched news, and then my stress level would go way up.
Why would that be?
Just panic, worrying. I mean, one day after I watched it in the morning before I went to work, I stressed the entire day.
Could we, the media, do a better job?
Well, your outlet is about the only one I watch now.
Thank you.
I've cut
I'll take
back.
that.
I've just cut back because I don't want to panic.
All right, Sue?
I really feel like we're over-exaggerating this virus just a bit.
How so?
It is not a virus that is killing thousands and thousands and thousands. You may have to have me back in 2 weeks and I may have to eat my words.
That's okay.
But that would be okay. What I think we need to do is we keep looking to the government to take care of us. We need to stop that. We need to take care of each other. And one of the things that keeps distressing me is walking into the grocery stores and seeing people grabbing things that they don't need. You don't need 40 packages of toilet paper. Remember your neighbors. Remember the other people that are at that grocery store that need things just as much as you do. Let's take care of each other and not depend on the government.
What about you, Holly? What do you think about that?
I'm upset about not being able to buy toilet paper. I mean, but it's just scary.
Here's the funny thing. Now it's come from toilet paper to also ammunition having a run on ammo. You and I are both shooters. What do you think about that? Why do you need ammo? Why do you need more ammo right now?
There's been some great memes going around on Facebook that says if you're gathering all those supplies but you don't have a gun, you might be gathering them for me.
Oh, yeah, yes,
I'm not threatening anybody, Neil, but I definitely come from a group of guys in East Texas that have pretty large stockpiles of guns and ammunition. I think that's part of East Texas culture.
So pretty much before we go, go ahead.
It is part of East Texas culture, but we need to be aware of what's going on around us. We do need to protect our families, but I do happen to know of a situation that occurred in a local Walmart where a gun was not pulled, but was shown to show intimidation. We don't need that.
No, we don't need that at all. Everyone just keep a calm head. Anything else before we go? Is it?
Leverage generosity. Whatever you have a little bit extra of, use it to help somebody else.
Amen, brother. We're having prayer meeting right here. Casey, back over to you.
All right, Neil, thank you. You know, we are committed to continuing our coverage of this developing story. You can find accurate, up-to-date information as well as track the latest numbers in school and business closures by visiting our website, easttexasmatters.com. And we also want you to know Governor Greg Abbott is holding a virtual town hall this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. He wants to speak directly to people across the state, normal Texans just like us. He'll talk about the state's response with his officials from health, education, and emergency management. You can watch the town hall right here on KETK, also on our website, easttexasmatters.com. This is also your chance to ask the governor a question. You can submit one on social media, in writing, or on video for 20 seconds or less. Use the hashtag AskAbbott to send us your questions by 5 p.m. tomorrow. From all of us here at KETK and Fox 51, we really do thank you for joining us for our coronavirus special. We hope we answered a lot of your questions and maybe calmed some of that fear. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Have a wonderful evening.